Roseville Police Commission meeting. And we'd like to open up with the Pledge of Allegiance. Why don't you lead us? Scott, you're in front.
All right. I pledge allegiance to
the
the
flag
flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all. Okay, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight? Jeff?
Not on mine. And
Eric?
None.
Nay.
Scott? Doug?
No, sir.
Ken?
No, sir.
Jessica? Then, there being no additions or deletions, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as published?
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have excuse me, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 18 regular police commission meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right along. Okay, there are no action items, so we can move right to the department update and discussion items.
Hello. So you see on the department update, it says COVID funds. I wanted to go over the May 8th board meeting, some things that took place, and then some updates in the department.
Get closer to the,
On May 8th, the board voted to decline to join the Downriver Consolidation Project. It was a 6-0 vote. It would have been 7-0, but one of the members was unable to attend, and he had emailed in that he was unable to make the vote. During that same meeting, the board approved the public safety building for 6 capital improvement projects out of the COVID funds, so it's not going to come out of taxpayer money, totaling $459,723. And those projects consist of repairing the cement in the front parking lot. If you go by, you'll see it's been crumbling, and they're going to cut it out, remove it, and replace it. The fire department, they have a tower that they do rappelling off of, and they put their hoses and they practice up and down, go on the stairs. That the roof is actually caving in, so there's a structural. They're going to repair that. Public safety building gutters are the original gutters, and they've been repaired, and now they're just completely shot. They need to be replaced. They're 32 years old. The public safety fuel tanks are the original ones that were put in the early 90s. So those are need to be replaced. You need to pull them out. They're going to do a whole different design. They're going to paint the public safety roof. You can see where it's getting a little wear and tear and rust on the edges to extend the life of it. And then the front sign to the building, when you enter in there, if you guys have ever driven past it, you see the cement chunks are coming off the sides. So we're going to get that repaired also. An additional project that will not come out of COVID money, but is the drainage where the gutters, the downspouts go underneath the parking lot and they drain out. Right now the water goes up the downspout and just hangs on the gutters and overflows on top, or goes right through all the holes. So we're going to get that taken care of too. They think they have isolated the clogs in there. So these are well needed repairs for the building. On repairs, that I don't know if you guys remember about a month ago or maybe a little further, a tree fell on the animal shelter roof. So we had to do an emergency repair. That repair came out to $28,210,000 for a new roof, removing the old skylights, not replacing them, gutters, and then the insurance gave us $18,728 of that, and then Jessica actually contacted the insurance company and renegotiated to get $7,000 additional dollars from the insurance company on that. So that's awesome. And it's still a significant amount, which means out of pocket, the department had to pay $9,481, which was all paid for by donations. So we got a new roof on there, and it looks good. Island Fest is coming June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So Ken and Todd are doing the scheduling and with the reserves, and we're getting ready for the Island Fest like we do every year. Sergeant Kevin Counts requested, and it was, he's appointed as our federal grant officer. So he took took upon himself to register our department for grants.gov, and now he's applying for federal grants. So the first one he applied for was that last week? Monday. It's Monday. So for the accreditation grant, he's also applying for some structural, like shelving, and then we can redo the evidence room and some other rooms. So we don't know if we'll get it. Well, he applied for it, so additional funds. Can't ever turn that down. On May 5th, as part of the accreditation process, we do this every year. We do for the generator, we do like a yearly maintenance, but as part of the accreditation, we did a generator load test to see how the generator, which is the original one in the building, they run it through the paces at 100% down to 20%, back up to 100 to 80. They run it through maximum kilowatts. And he said it passed and ran great. And when we were listening to it, it sounded great. So, and then
Lasts longer than people are talking.
it was 32 years old. Yeah, 32-year-old generator. It's been
So are
used.
we, but we're still alive.
But it gets run. It routinely runs a test, and then but when you do
That
yeah. So I think during the summer one
should
out.
give us some confidence that we're not on the edge of.
I don't think we are, but when you have a 32-year-old, basically a motor, it generates power. You never know, but it runs. It passed good. It passed and it runs great. So, and then
Make that an annual thing then? That
we do the
test?
annual maintenance on it
No, I'm talking about that test.
for the accreditation. Are we?
We only have to do the annual load test if we don't have a power outage in the building where the generator kicks on. So in order to save money, because it costs us $600 to do the test, if we lose power and it kicks on, we're good. We meet the accreditation requirements.
Okay. I guess said another way, before we start pushing for a replacement on the generator, when we think we're at that point, we do a load test and see.
For $600 a year, the load test is worth the money, because when it goes out, like Ken's saying, it doesn't mean we run it at 100%, because it's only what it draws. And our normal draw, I think it was like 20 or 30% is our normal draw on the generator.
I think we're all on the same page.
Right, so when we're on full generator, we're only drawing 20 to 30%. It's when you kick on the sirens and all the auxiliary things that run only from our building, that's where you start drawing the 100%. But it ran past with flying colors, so.
Great.
Yep. The last one is, Groseal once again was put in as the safest city to live in Michigan on several different platforms. We're number 1 on a real estate one, then 4 and 6 on other ones. So you'll see where Groseal's mentioned a whole bunch of times online for safest city to live in Michigan.
Good job, and let everybody
That's a,
know.
any questions on any of that, or?
Questions? Questions? Moving on to the monthly report.
Evening, gentlemen. A few highlights to cover. 1,018 calls for service. 87 of those were 911 calls for real or potentially dangerous situations or rescue-related calls. The officers conducted 145 traffic stops, resulting in 113 verbal warnings. 2 of those stops, or 2 of the investigations, resulted in arrests for operating while intoxicated. Training throughout the month of April consisted of officers attending impaired driving training, surveillance techniques, drone operations, and report writing. Department's gearing up for a variety of different training in the month of May, including the spring firearms. Detective Bureau was assigned 11 cases in the month. They cleared 4, as noted in your report. 2 cases to highlight. One involved a rollover crash at Meridian and Groseal Parkway. That person who caused the crash is suspected of being under the influence of a controlled substance. He was transported to the hospital for minor injuries. We secured a search warrant to obtain blood, and the results are pending with the Michigan State Police Crime Lab. The Detective Bureau also investigated a threats complaint, led to the identification of a suspect who lives in another jurisdiction across the country. The person was just trolling social media, didn't like what he saw, made a statement in the form of a meme. That case has been referred to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office and is pending their review. So, but I can tell you that the detectives that handled that case were diligent securing search warrants for a variety of different servers. Had a conversation with this individual. He got an admission, used some techniques to talk with jurisdictions where he resides, and there may be some mental health concerns with him. So we don't believe the threat was credible, but nonetheless, we're referring it to the prosecutor's office at the complainant's request for potential charges. Animal Control Officer Cordis Redfield fielded 84 animal complaints, which is more than she did the prior month. In fact, it's almost double. So she was rather busy, not anything to do with anything in particular, other than a lot of calls for service for her. Our SWAT and crisis negotiation teams were activated twice in the month of April. April 3rd, they assisted on a narcotic search warrant in the city of Ecorse, and on April 19th, they assisted with the search and arrest of a carjacking suspect in the city of Taylor. On the 28th of April, we sent an officer over to the 33rd District Court to participate in Law Day festivities. Students from various school districts will send their kids there to see what the judicial process is about, learn a little bit about the court system, and meet with law enforcement officers. The chief mentioned the generator load test. That was done on the 28th as well. And I will note that early this morning, Officer Hurtado responded to the Riverview Police Department to assist by providing a translation for an individual who was trying to report his brother missing. But because of a language barrier, Riverview was not able to get a clear statement from the brother. So Officer Hurtado responded and was able to speak fluent Spanish and assisted in that. So that was a good deal for him. I believe that was early this morning. Our reserves officers, Captain Price is not able to be here. They put in 32 hours of service in the month. They were doing some vacation home checks, some inspections of businesses after hours, visiting the parks and so forth. The newest reserve candidate successfully passed the physical background stage of his process and the psychological process, so he's going to be up and ready to go here momentarily. And then reserve candidate Sarah Kelly starts the Reserve Academy in July. So those were the points that he wanted me to cover for him. Do you have any questions for me? Awesome, thank you.
Obviously, Joey's not here for the liaison report, but I think, Doug, you covered most everything for that.
I spoke to him before, so that's why I passed it
Yep.
on for him.
So, public comment. We have no public, which was kind of surprising, I thought, but that's great. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Kent? Doug? Jessica? Jeff, you have anything?
Nope.
Eric?
No, sir. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The world's record. 18.